According to McDSP, their new SA-3 plugin is excellent for removing unwanted spectral spikes in dialogue, vocals and many other kinds of audio inputs. In other words, it's a resonant suppressor. McDSP has evolved their existing SA-2 plugin. It is now an alternative and direct competitor for OX Sound's Soothe 2, which is the gold standard in automated resonance suppression, the one to rule them all. In this video we will compare the two so you know which one to get, and having both of them actually makes sense. After doing many tests, I find it hard to say which one of the two I actually prefer. Every time I think one sounds better than the other, it always comes down how I have set up the bias or sensitivity controls of the two plugins. Hear for yourself, here's a female vocal. There are at least some 800 to 1K spikes. Any difference you might hear comes down to using different settings. That gets even more clear with the next audio loop. Here's a stereo metal guitar with resonances in the higher mids and low end. If I change settings on one of the two plugins, you might prefer one over the other and also the other way around. and this makes finding differences in sound really difficult. Which frequencies get reduced look wildly different between Soothe 2 and SA-3 and might give you the impression that one works better than the other. But that comes down to how everything is displayed. McDSP SA-3 uses a logarithmic display, while Soothe 2 uses a more linear display with more visual focus on the mids and highs. I don't prefer the one over the other. I always found that, visually, the low end on Soothe 2 was hard to judge, but I think that SA-3 is somewhat lacking this in the mid and high range. Low end is better to see on SA-3, where the mid to high range is better to see on Soothe 2. Frequency-wise, Soothe 2 looks to be able to work more in detail and more frequency specific than SA-3. If you can hear that, is up for debate. Soothe 2 does have a few advantages over SA-3. One is the ability to work in different quality modes in real time and offline processing. Soothe 2 also has a dry-wet mix control. I personally never use it, but it's there. Furthermore, Soothe 2 has stereo link mode, which allows for better control of individual stereo channels and a balanced left-right or mid-side control. Price-wise, there is a difference. Soothe 2 costs about $70 more than SA-3, and that is when you buy the plugins directly from the developers. There's one big disadvantage with McDSP SA-3. Right now, at the creation of this video, there's no Windows version of SA-3. Every other McDSP plugin has both Windows and Mac versions, and I expect that the SA-3 Windows version won't take long to appear. All in all, McDSP's SA-3 looks like a great alternative to Soothe 2, with a slightly easier to use interface. Soothe 2 is the slightly more advanced one. To understand the differences between Golfar, Soothe 2 and any other alternative, watch the video which is displayed on screen and linked in the description below. And don't forget to subscribe.